alias to the Sergeant at Arms of District 2042, Cristina Giacomini, to start the meeting and to play the bell.
Good evening, everybody. Thanks for this evening, and please stand up for the anthems of the countries from which the panelists come from. Now I share the screen. I greet and thanks for their attendance tonight Andrea Mora, DRR of District 2042, Mafalda Luis, President of ERIC, Rotaract Europe, Christian Leitner, Vice President and President-elect of ERIC, Rotaract Europe, Maria Vittoria Gargiulo, Social Officer of ERIC, Rotaract Europe, Cesare Scalia, Country Representative of Italy to ERIC, Rotaract Europe, Raimondo Vella, past Vice DRR of District 2050 and past Country Representative of Italy to ERIC, Rotaract Europe, Boris Zlatkov, International Service Director, District 2042, Anna Maria Seveso, Vocational Service Director, District 2042, George Zlatkov, Master in Business Administration and member of Rotaract Sofia Tangra, District 2482, Ivana Ivanovna and Nadir Khatib, founders of Goo Bamboo, all Rotaractors and guests. I now give the floor to the DRR of District 2042, Andrea Mora.
Thanks to Cristina Giacomini, our Sergeant at Arms. I'm very pleased to have you with us tonight. And I think that having done this meeting tonight is very important because tonight is the World Earth Day. And in this year in which we are confronted with the pandemic, we have to highlight the importance of nature. And above all this year, because Italy this year has the presidency of COP26. So the theme of the pandemic is very linked with sustainability. And this is very important in relation with the business of Ivana and Nader. And before giving the floor to the president of ERIC, Rotaract Europe, Mafalda Luis, I really would like to greet Gaetano Vallone, who is the DRR incoming of Sicily District 2110. Thanks for being here tonight. Now the floor to Mafalda.
Hello, everyone. Good evening to all. I'm very glad to be here. It's a pleasure to me to be in one more of these webinars organized by Alex. Thank you so much, Cesare, to coordinate with Mavi and supporting the Alex social project. It's a proof that it's a success because a lot of countries are doing, and we are talking today about business, and one of the key points is networking. So when you're in this point of Zoom, even when we are not physically present, we meet so much people, and this is very important. And we were talking about pandemic and the Day of the Earth. So it's important to see how sustainability can be taken in consideration to business from nowadays. And thank you so much for having me tonight.
Thanks, Mafalda. Now the floor to Cesare Scalia, our country representative.
Hello, everyone. So I'm Cesare, and the country representative of Italy at ERIC. I'm extremely happy to participate in this European night, as Mafalda said before, which is a true collaboration between Italy and Bulgaria. And this kind of partnership are the true meaning of Rotaract Europe. I really hope to meet you physically in REM Sofia, but we have to adapt to this kind of format, which in any case bring us closer despite the pandemic, but only with a physical distance. COVID has impacted us in many ways. We lost our routine, we lost our hopes. The whole Europe felt the crisis, and sadly, the area of District 2042 was among the most affected in Italy and in Europe. But we must not give up. We need to be confident and diligent. We must adapt to the situation, and we must give hope to the present and build the future. This is precisely the spirit of this event. When Boris came up with this idea, I was very happy because I think that this kind of events are really important because we need to instill hope and show that despite everything, we have the power to react to the situation. Circular economy And sustainable development represents the challenge of our future. And give some examples. So this is really important because also today is the Earth Day, and the theme is in fact related to the power to restore our planets. So I want to thank Boris again. I want to thank all the organizers and all the speakers, and I want to wish you a good continuation of the event. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Cesare. Now the floor to Boris Latkov, who is the real organizer of this event. So please explain us the project,
Hi.
and please introduce the panelists.
Hi guys. I will be very short. I think that in difficult times like this, we should keep that spirit of initiative, that genuine sense of emulation, respect the greatness. I think that we have to strive to stimulate our ability to transform our problems into opportunities, and to rethink some of our bad habits we have here on the planet into more ecological way. So this is the theme of the night, and we invited two speakers for this theme. My cousin Georgi, who is a master in business administration and entrepreneur, and Ivana and Nader, who are Ivana is expert in branding, and Nader is an engineer. They developed the brand who is ecological, and they developed it. The interesting thing is they developed it in COVID. I don't know, maybe 8 months ago. So the interesting part of this is that they don't give up, and they try to react to this situation. So this is the spirit of the night, and I hope this will be a good example to react. And so I give the word to my cousin Georgi, who will explain how to transform our ideas into practice through the startups, and how these startups this process can be affected in a situation like this, situation that you cannot talk to people. So it's interesting to see by him if that is possible. It's possible to build a startup in a situation like this. So Georgi, thanks.
Hello everyone, thanks for having me today. When Boris came to me, his idea was that in those times a lot of them are like stuck at home, especially younger people that are not advanced at their career. So we were discussing that potentially what to talk about startups, inspire them, motivate them, how to take the steps to create something, how to get their idea into a potential business. Now, most of you here I know, and I know that you are quite on the path of your career. So maybe not a lot of potential startups right now here, but still to my screen, just a second. Okay, so share screen. Okay, so does everyone see my screen now?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So what's a startup and how do we start? So, okay, you already know me. George, I'm a serial entrepreneur. Back in the years, maybe, what is it now? Almost 10 years. I was in university after I graduated MBA. Now I'm more focused on growth investment and consulting for startups and bigger established companies. I've been in Rotaract for 8 or 9 years now. I was a co-host of the now canceled Frame Sophia. Hopefully it happens eventually when it can. And so we go to what is a startup? Now, there is a misconception that many businesses, that any business that is just started is a startup. Now, I've heard people say like, I've just made a startup. I have ice cream trucks, like 2 of them. Well, that's great. It's wonderful and profitable small business or micro business, but it's not a startup for sure. So the whole idea behind the business venture when it's a startup is quite different. A startup's founder's intention is rather to disrupt the market with a scalable and innovative business model. While the small business owner's intention usually is to be their own boss and to find a place on a local or a niche market. So, for example, if you have the idea to buy 2 or 3 apartments and rent them, that's micro business, right? But if you have the idea to create a platform where you will allow people to communicate with each other, and people who are giving apartments for rent are getting connected to those who want to rent them, and you're getting a commission for this, and your primary target is, well, the whole world, well, then now we're talking about the startup. So might sound familiar. That's something which is already a quite successful startup called Airbnb, which had a revenue before Corona times of over, I think, $3 billion. So also a very big difference between business. The aim will be to merge or be bought from a bigger company, or potentially a listing on the stock market through IPO or SPAC or something. On the contrary, a good small or micro business will have the purpose to bring
Georgi,
us
there's
revenue,
bad connection.
profit every month till your while. Sorry?
I see that is a bad connection. Last 30 seconds. Try now, maybe.
You hear me?
Oh, you can try to stop probably the webcam. We can try with this.
Oh yeah, sure. Let's see how we
Let's
can
hope.
do that.
I don't know.
Oh, okay. How about now?
It's perfect. I don't know why.
I think my camera's bandwidth is pretty huge. Supposedly it should be HD or stuff, so maybe, I don't know.
But maybe you can change the resolution.
Yeah,
maybe.
no, that's fine. We can.
Well, I hear you perfectly. Yeah.
Okay, so also, where was I? That can easily say exception, but rather a temporary formation, often
start another time,
informal.
excuse me. Bad connection, maybe start another time. Georgi.
Okay. Okay, do you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Okay, you hear me. Let's see if you can see the presentation.
Okay. Try to talk.
Okay, so where was I? So once a startup finds a profitable and scalable business model, then it suddenly becomes a company, like let's say TripAdvisor, or if you're lucky enough, like Microsoft or Apple, which were once.
Maybe it's better if you if you close the screen sharing.
Christina, can you share the presentation?
Yes, of course.
Okay.
Let me a moment.
Meanwhile, I would like to say hello to Christina Veziroglu, who is the CR of the past CR of Greece, who joined us. Still CR, sorry, who joined us a few minutes ago.
Okay, Georgi.
Do you see?
Yeah.
Okay. So, George, let me know when I have to do...
To turn the slide.
To turn on the slide, yes.
Okay, I actually don't see it. I don't see the slides.
We are still on the fourth slide.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, let's say next slide, which is how do I come up with a good idea? That's for most of people the point where they are usually stuck. So next slide. The first thing that we usually say to ourselves is, I need a good idea, right? And in this process, I would advise you to think in this direction. Think for a business that solves problems, because for a business to be meaningful, it's got to solve a problem or fulfill a need. Here, the real challenge is to be something personal. I mean, it's great if you can come up with not only with a problem that you plan to solve, but rather to come up with a problem that you personally would be really, really happy to be solved by you or someone, just something that you're really happy to get solved. Second advice would be keep a pain point journal. A pain point, something that we call a pain point is, let's say, an issue or a problem. So write down the problems and pains that you face in everyday life. Like, I hate cleaning, or I don't like the taxi drivers, or I cannot afford to pay my rent. Think is that to the struggle of certain individuals with those exact issues, we owe the creation of Roomba, Uber, or Airbnb. So you should definitely go this direction and look for what really disturbs you personally. Next thing I would advise is don't overlook the small issues. So here's a story. Maybe 10 years ago, I was still in university, and one cold winter, this thought came to my mind. You know how unpleasant it is when the temperatures fall and your car's windshield freeze, and you gotta start the car, leave it for some time to work so you can scrape the ice, etc. Now, me being a poor student and not having a garage at this time, I was thinking how awesome it would be to don't have to do that. And I had this thought that there can be something like a thermal blanket, or something that you can safely put on the windscreen. By safely, I mean without other people to be able to steal it the first night, right? And it protects it from the snow, from the ice. So in the morning, you have those extra 10 minutes of sleep because you can just remove it and go. No scrubbing, no waiting, nada. So I could make a prototype for maybe 50 or 100 euros back then, but it just didn't happen. I mean, university stuff. So it just stayed an idea. Funny thing is, maybe last winter or the one before, not really sure, I saw this same idea, which is, I mean, it's not surprising because it's something that many people can come up with. But the thing is, it was in the top selling list of Amazon. So someone came up with the idea, did the product, and by the numbers that I saw in the reviews, etc., I could easily figure out that he's making a cool 100,000 K per month or so. So the thing is, just check out your ideas that you wrote. There are no small enough issues. If it's a pain point for you, you'll be motivated and passionate about it. And then it might have a big enough audience having the same pain point as you do. And then those people will respond positively. So you might actually solve a problem which is worth solving for many people. Then potentially you have a business. So next advice, unleash your passion. Focus on problems that you're passionate about. The startup route is not easy, that's for sure. And to make sure that you enjoy the process and you're passionate about doing it, first you should be passionate about solving this specific issue, something that I said a bit earlier. This passion will, of course, transfer to the ones you work with and will help you to pass through difficult times because there are plenty of them. But the good times will be much more if you're passionate about what you do. And next thing, oh, okay. I'm not sure what I did here. What is this? So innovate. Don't be afraid to have big dreams. Typical examples of this would be early startups like Microsoft, like Apple, like Tesla. All those companies are innovating, creating pain points, and after solving them. So the thing is, before Apple and Microsoft told people they need something, they didn't really need it. I mean, people were perfectly fine with the way they were working before there was a PC. But several crazy ones come up with the hilarious idea that it would be great if every person have a computer at home. And that's how the personal computer was actually born, changing the world forever. So don't put yourself limits onto your ideas. Sometimes the craziest ideas are the best, and there is potential market for them. You never know. So to recap, the best startup idea is the one that you're passionate about, that solves a problem big enough to drive you crazy, and something that you can scale. Okay, so next slide. Is my idea any good? Are we on this slide? Because I don't see the slides.
Yes, we are.
Okay, great. So, is my idea any good? That's extremely important question. Every entrepreneur asks themselves, especially in the beginning. It's a good thing if you ask yourself this question not only in the beginning, but in time as well, because, you know, climate is changing. Something might be a great idea when you started, but someone else started later, caught on, and now it's in front. So you have to ask yourself this quite some time. The thing is that our idea might look like a good idea, but only in our heads. So what do we do? One word: validate. Many entrepreneurs pass on this important step, jumping in the deep with a smaller and more substantial investment. They say they have a good feeling or something. Sure, that's great thing. Actually, I've read somewhere that the good feeling is our experience. So with time, we can start trusting our gut feeling, but maybe not in the beginning. But the thing is that starting the business, investing money into it without any validation, for sure will bring some anxiety. Like, is this a good idea? Do I make it the right way? What would people like? And so on. And anxiety very often leads to bad decisions. And bad decisions at this at later stage of a startup are much worse than validation, which shows us that our idea suck. So the validation process might be completely different for different ideas. So let's have an example. Let's say I want to offer a service that is currently not available in my area. Let's say, I don't know, something crazy, like a horse taxi. Okay, we want to offer horse taxi. So I want to check if people would be using this before to have to buy horse ride, because horses are expensive. So what would I do? I would look into details similar to the business. Not sure what's close to horse taxi, but still, I'll try to find the answers to questions like what services they offer, how they offer those services, how do they present them in front of people, or how do they communicate them, how they advertise, what are the prices, and I'll also try to figure out what the demand from clients is for those similar services. So it's clear that you might not be able to find all of those answers or correlation to some of those. Then it comes the next important part of the validation process, the go-to-market. So you have the idea about horse taxi, but now you got to find clients. So how do you find clients for your horse taxi business when you don't really offer the service yet? It's not that difficult. You can always fake it till you make it, as we say. You can create a website, an Instagram page. You can also invest a small amount of money or no money at all, if you can do it yourself, into doing those, like the website. There you will very nicely explain your service. You show the good visuals and all. And somewhere there, you leave a form for people to leave their email or phone number, or click that they're interested, get in touch with you. Or you can even just leave your phone number so people can call you. This way, you already have hot leads of potential clients for when you launch. And now you have some basic idea about how big or how small, I think in this horse taxi service might be rather small. So how big or small the market is. Then you can go and advertise on Facebook or Google on keywords or audiences that you presume are your potential market. So trust me, spending some money at this stage might save you a lot of money from failure later. So through these channels, you can have some data to help you make a decision if your idea is viable and if there is big enough market. So some other times, validation will literally mean go on the street and give away a test run of your product to see people's reaction, right? And something I almost forgot: never, never, ever rely on validation from friends and family. You ask your mom or your girlfriend, hey, what do you think about this idea? Yeah, it's great idea, son. Come on, I mean, they'll never tell you that your ideas suck. Seeing your passion, they'll be like, yeah, I heard the donkey taxi is a thing on Santorini, so yeah, totally, why not do it here as well? I mean, this thing. So yeah, never. This is no validation. Friends and family, no. Okay, so next slide. And we get to the money talk. How do I fund my idea? Next slide. So you have the money, that's obviously great. But if you don't, I mean, my personal perception is that even when you do have the money, sometimes it's better to take VC money because of all the connections that you can expand for your startup. But let's say that you have the money, this is amazing. If no, usually the ways that you can go are the listed here. In the beginning, almost always, there you put all of your money and you take some money from FNF, from friends and family. The second way, we go to the business angels. Those are non-professional investors who are willing to invest small amount of money, usually between 5 and 25,000 euro. And they as well provide mentorship to the startups. It's something that I do as well. The next thing is incubators and accelerators. Those are places where you get funded from, let's say, 50,000 to 100,000 K, and you're being put together with other startups and all kinds of professionals, and you're working tirelessly to establish a profitable and scalable model, as we said earlier. So usually it's they're like 6 months long programs, and there are several big incubators in Europe. So then we go to the public funding. Usually there are incentives or funding for young and innovative teams. I'm not really sure what the situation in Italy is, but pretty sure that there are European Union and government-funded programs. You can check for this in most of European Union countries, and actually not only in. I see Stoyan here from North Macedonia. Even in North Macedonia, there are European Union money for entrepreneurship, these kind of programs. So lately, the last thing, crowdfunding. Lately, a lot of ideas or products are getting funded through crowdfunding. You know, like Kickstarter, Indiegogo campaigns, where people willing to buy your product or your service, pay upfront for you to actually develop it. So that's also a nice way to realize your idea. Next slide, please. Maximize your funding chances. So no matter which way you decide to go, or option for you to go, you can maximize your chances for funding like this. First, develop your idea as much as possible before looking for funding. Second, develop a demo or prototype of your service or product. Next, show that people are interested, they talk about you, your product, your service, and that they're willing to buy your product. If they're not, try harder until you find those that are really willing to buy it. If you don't, most likely you're not trying hard enough. or you have like the stupidest idea, but that's very, very, very rare. So the next thing, create a team worth investing in. The team is usually what most of the investors would actually invest in, not the idea itself, because sometimes ideas pivot, change, adapt, etc. But the team stays the same, right? So you have to pick the team careful. So after this, make sure you did your homework about finances. You should be really, really finance savvy if you want to get funded. Next thing, create killer pitch and product materials. Like, you know, those impactful presentations, nice product videos, all of them explaining how your idea works, etc. Next thing, make a list with all the investors, and of course, try to meet as many investors as possible. Now, in current situation, this is quite difficult because if an investors are being bombarded with all of those projects, right? So your chances are quite bigger if you can meet them face to face. Which is happening at all kinds of events, etc. Now in this situation, I would say, I don't know, just go for the incubators. And the last thing is listen to feedback and implement it. I mean, really dig into the feedback, implement it, and they go back to pitching it. And of course, be persistent. I mean, you hear 1,000 no's, but maybe 1,001 will be yes. So be persistent. Next slide, just for a hint, some of the sectors that last several years are booming and attract a lot of interest from investors. So if you're a startup, idea is in one of those sectors, chances are quite bigger that you might actually be hot stock. So the first one is artificial intelligence, voice and Internet of Things, door shave club models. Those are the subscription models where you like mystery box, all of those things that you can see. They're now like for everything, like whiskey, beer box, everything. That's very trendy and very hot. Next thing is biotech, e-commerce tech, and pets. Actually, the last two has been on the rise the last 12 months. Since Corona, people stay at home and shop online, thus giving the spike in e-commerce related solutions. Same for the pets. We spend much more time at home with our pets more than ever before. And next slide. Last thing I want to say, start today. Don't wait. Chances are you'll never have a better time actually to start something new than when the economy is down and everything. So yeah, thank you. If you have questions, I'll be happy to answer.
Well, if possible, I break the ice. Well, a question that comes from my personal life. My family owns an established firm. We have been on the market for 60 years. How do you think a historic company can grow thanks to a young business, to a startup, and these can learn from a consolidated company?
Well, look, in my work last several years as a consultant, this is This usually the case. Usually companies are not 60 years old, but let's say 20, 30-year-old company, and technology is something that enables all kinds of businesses to run better. I mean, data is very important. For example, I had this situation with the owner of a furniture retail business, one of the biggest. And I'm saying, how many people do you have daily checkout here at the physical store? And he's like, maybe 250. And I'm like, do we have the number? I mean, he's like, no, but I can see them, you know. And I'm like, how do you see them? And he's like, I see them from here, from my office. They're moving in front of me, so they should be around 250. I'm like, okay. So we go to their POS terminals, which are not connected to anything. I mean, they don't have all of this data for making strategic decisions about their business. But once you plug everything, like you can have more data, you can access. I don't know what your business is, but still clients and potential clients are something that you aim for, or partners. Once you leverage on technology, I'm pretty confident that any business can grow. It might be even the best running business might achieve those several percent, which usually would be quite some money. It's something that it's a trendy phrase lately, digital transformation. So yeah, no matter what the business, it's just about the specifics. In your case, if I know more about the case, I can give some ideas maybe.
For me personally, I always admire people who are starting a startup, because I think I would sit there and think, what should I do now? I mean, even if I had an idea, where to start? Where do you know where you have to begin with?
Yeah, that's the thing. There are certain steps that for sure you have to walk. Someone else with questions, or we can lead to Ivana and Nader to tell us about what they
Yes.
did, which is
Maybe
actually
we can.
very
I have
exciting.
one question. I have one. Are you listening to me? Good? Good? No?
Yeah, perfect.
Do you have, or can you give an advice to someone that somehow in the future wants to start startup, but at the same time has a full-time job? Is that possible, or do you think it's like opposite things and you should quit the job to start a startup?
No, I don't think that right at the beginning you should quit your daily job, because as I said earlier, you know, founding a startup in the beginning can be quite exhausting, and there can be quite some struggle, you know, until you get funded. Like, for example, I had several startups. Last one of them quite good funded with VC funding, etc. But I remember back in the years, there were ideas where they might eventually start generating you any income in months or years, you know. So what I would advise is something that I already said. go for it if you're passionate about it. If you're passionate enough about it, then coming back from work, you will not really feel exhausted about working on your startup, etc. You'll actually be excited about building something. You know, you'll be 8 hours at work, 9 to 5 or whatever, getting paid for this, and you actually do have the energy to work another good 4 or 5 hours on your startup. And once you start getting traction, then yeah, you should be expected to leave your daily job and focus on this, because if you don't focus, it will not really work. Let's not forget that supposedly you're doing something which is something new, something innovative. So it would definitely take a lot of effort.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome.
And maybe we can move to the second panelists, so they can have time enough for their speech.
Yeah.
So Boris, would like to introduce them?
Yeah. Okay. So here we are, Ivan and Nader. They developed interesting brand during the COVID, who is concentrated on the cutlery and cups, 100% ecological. And I think is a very good example to rethink our habits, our things that we use journally. So we wanted to invite them to show to a lot of people how we can rethink some things in our day, and these things, I think they change the carbon footprint. So we have another maybe 8 years to change the direction on our planet, and I think is a good example to start. We had 1 year to think in our houses, and I think it's time to start to change. And so we invited them, and they show us their product. Hello.
Hello, everybody.
Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for having us, and thank you, Boris, for that introduction. What Boris said is very true, very interesting. I mean, when we decided to start this business, it all came down to the straw, to the single-use straw. As small as it seems, as harmless as it seems, more.
Impact.
Yes,
Yeah,
its impact is
big,
huge.
because you know what they say, it's just one straw, said 7 billion people. So
yeah, and around more than 500 million straws are being discarded every year from restaurants, people, and those straws, as small as they can be, are making a huge impact on our oceans or on our environment in general. From there, we started with our idea to try to make an impact, to try to make a change as small as we can. We believe that eventually that straw by straw, we can make a change. Each and every person, if he makes a change within himself, we can make a global change. And that's where Go Bamboo started from.
actually, we can tell you the whole story behind Go Bamboo, because it's quite a funny story, honestly. As Joru mentioned, look around, he said, think. So the way Go Bamboo started, it was by accidentally 3 years ago almost. I was in Bali, and for the first time in my life, I saw a bamboo straw, which was very interesting for me, because here in Bulgaria, even till now, this is not a trend. We start seeing them here and there, but it's something very rare. So I looked at this bamboo straw and I'm like, wow, this is great. Those people everywhere, they use those bamboo straws. They are made by nature, and then they're composable. And I said to myself, why don't we have it in Bulgaria? Why isn't it a trend? So I grabbed this bamboo straw. I actually brought it back, even though they were using it all over the island. The first one I saw, I brought it back to Bulgaria, and time passed and I didn't do anything about it. This idea just stayed in my mind, and I was thinking about it, but nothing, until one day during the summer. It was like August, I believe. We were sitting with Nader, we were having a coffee. Yes. And I was kind of upset, and he's like, why aren't you smiling? It's super sunny, it's a great day. And I said to him, because in my mind is this idea that I have for a few years, and I'm really struggling about it, because I'm seeing what people are doing to our planet. And he said, oh, okay, share it with me, let's see what we can do about it. So I told him the idea, and he just said, let's do it. Let's do it right now, not to waste any minute. So yes.
That was a subject that was very interesting to me, because I, like, firsthand have suffered from damages to the environment, being originally an Arab, actually from Lebanon. Unfortunately, we see the lack of, let's call it, education, lack of environmental education, lack of environmental knowledge that is being actually given to our, let's say, individuals, children, basically lack of cultural education. That's, I think, the proper word, lack of cultural education, of environmental education. And that was a very interesting subject when she mentioned with me, and that's how our story began. But the thing that we agreed both on is that environmentally friendly doesn't have to be ugly. Yes. Environmentally friendly can also be very beautiful. So that was also one of our main, let's call it, challenges or tasks, how to make people, or how to encourage people to use multiple use products, ecological products, not by forcing it on them, not by actually giving them the cultural environmental lecture. Maybe we can give some of both, but by actually making them beautiful, by making them usable. That was one of the most important things. They have to be ethically sourced, they had to be usable, and they had to be beautiful.
Because in Bulgaria, it's like this. Whatever is on social media, whatever looks good, it becomes a trend. Mm-hmm. So the idea was like, we should make those eco products be a trend. Because if you say to somebody, go zero waste right now, stop doing this, stop doing that, people feel pressured. They say, no, I don't have time, and they run away from the idea. But if you show to somebody just a bamboo straw that goes in a pouch, you can put it in your bag, it looks fancy, it looks cool, all your friends ask you, wow, what is this? And you start feeling cool with just one step, then you say to yourself, well, why not add bamboo cutlery in my bag and stop using the plastic one? Because obviously I look cool and it's trendy. And this was our idea, to make it how to say, modern, to be good right now for the people, so they pay more attention without feeling pressured.
Exactly. Actually, let's share our screen if that's possible. We would like to show you a sample of our products. If the host can give us access, please. Okay, perfect. We would like to share our screen. Perfect. Hide the floating menu. Perfect. So basically, we're gonna go through a sample of what we do exactly at Go Bamboo and how did everything start. We're gonna start by introducing to the coconut balls. Coconut balls, our coconut balls are made honestly with very, very small attention to details, with the smallest details to be hand carved, to be SGS and ISO
Здравейте!
certified.
Пуснах ви един имейл от Yoga Fabric BG.
Okay. So yeah, to be handmade, to be ethically sourced, and to be sustainable. Meaning, yes, meaning we take care in each and every one of our balls. We have different kinds of patterns, which also should appeal to the younger generation as well as the older generation, because that was one of our targets. How to appeal to the younger generation as well as the older generation, because those are actually our future. If we start educating them from now, if we start educating them from now, this will continue with them after and after. And here you see, for example, one of our coconut balls. This is our ring set, our Cosmos.
It's called, yes, this model is called the ring. What is actually good about our balls is, first of all, as we said, they're from organic origin. We work with one farm only, which is located in Bến Tre, Vietnam. So we are in very close relation with the people who raise those coconuts before they make them a balls. And the reason why we took the decision to add this product to the company is because coconuts in general are used to take their butter and their water. This part, the white part, which is like called meat. And after this is taken, all those coconut shells have been thrown away. And usually they make a huge pollution in some areas, or they've been burned, which is also not sustainable at all. By us taking those shells and creating beautiful coconut balls, we actually help the environment. And the other thing that is good is that the people there who grow the coconuts actually manage to do some extra money for themselves. And as you know, those regions are not very well developed in a financial point of view. So we're happy to help. And also, we're proud to say that we work with fair trade. So
very important subject.
Yes, very important for us, because we pay very well for those products, because we believe that everybody deserves a good life. So we're working on the two topics, organic products, which are sustainable, and ethical work.
Yes, we deal mostly with upscaling or upcycling, let's call it upcycling more than recycling. Upcycling, basically, we try as much as we can to make use of everything nature has to give us. As Ivana mentioned, coconuts are being collected to be used for their meat and then are being discarded. That's where our role comes in, to start at the point of those coconuts being discarded and start a new life for them. This coconut that has been discarded after the meat has been taken, it would have went to being burnt or thrown or buried. We upcycle it, we rehabilitate it, we make a beautiful pattern on it, and then it gets to go to a new home. That's about the coconut balls. Let's go into, here you're gonna see different kinds of, actually just I need to point this out, you're gonna see through our presentation lots of different products. Some actually are, how do we call them? Products that are still in the idea stage, but, and what vision do we have for the future? Here you see our reusable cutlery sets, as well as our coconut.
Say that currently what the photo that you're seeing is made from wood
Bamboo, yes.
And what is interesting is that they are made of leftovers of bamboo trees. That and each piece, like the fork, the spoon, the knife, they're made of a whole piece, which means that there is no glue used in making them.
Yes.
And also, again, as the coconut balls, they are organic, with organic origin. Again, here this is a different farm that we work with, because the one for bamboo and the one for coconut are two different farms. Again, we have fair trade. We are certified by SGS and ISO. And the good thing about those cutleries is that, again, it's a very nice, trendy way. You can bring them all everywhere with you. They're very light. They're just few grams, below 100 grams, lighter than any phone.
They're very useful. You can actually use them.
Actually, yes, the knife cuts everything.
Yeah, it's actually useful.
Except a very soft tomato.
Yeah, you don't need to cut soft tomatoes. You can get tough tomatoes, you'll be fine.
Yeah, and they're very nice. You can actually bring them everywhere, because right now, even if we're like looking to switch from plastic single-use cutleries to a long-lasting product, they're good. But also in COVID, you never know, wherever you go, let's say in a restaurant, you never know how they wash the dishes. And during those time of COVID, this is also a self-protection, at least in my opinion, because you know those are yours and only you touch them and you wash them.
Exactly. Actually, our products have been featured on TV Canal no? TV
in
number
the
one.
Bulgarian National Television.
And the anchor actually wanted to make a challenge. That's why I mentioned the cutting power of those knives. She wanted to make a challenge. I think she got an apple.
Yeah,
an apple, and she
wanted type of apple.
And she said, no, I don't think those can cut. You just made them to be beautiful and stuff. I don't think somebody's. And I'm like, no, cut them. Go ahead. And she actually cut the apple. She ate the apple. We cut also apple. We ate the apple, and it was a very happy day for everyone. We proved the products work as well as they're beautiful.
So this is also very important when somebody is developing a product, to be good looking and useful.
Exactly.
Our next product is actually the one that started everything, our bamboo straws. Also from the farm that I mentioned for bamboo, again, handmade, because everything that you see is handmade and one piece, no glue, no pesticides, nothing chemical in the way of raising the bamboo and the production process. What else can we say about the straws? The good thing about bamboo is that except for being extremely strong as a tree, one bamboo tree develops its full potential in 5 years. So it's a very fast growing.
They're very resistant to mold as well.
Yes,
that's a very
antibacterial,
naturally very resistant to molds. Basically, the features, actually the natural features of bamboo makes it very unique. It's antibacterial. Actually, bamboo is used in Asia, in building those, what do they call them in English? The frames, the external frames for buildings.
Yeah, while you're building a building, they don't use metal like we do here.
They use bamboo. And yeah, this can be seen also in Jackie Chan's movie Rush Hour 3 when they were jumping. Yeah, you can see.
Proving our thesis.
Yeah, to prove our theory. So bamboo is really an amazing, let's call it material / plant, natural product.
Yeah, and it develops twice the oxygen, 2 times more oxygen than a regular tree. So good 2 times.
Yes.
Our other products that we recently added to the portfolio are our safety razors. They are made of metal, because people don't realize it, but as well as the straws, single-use razor for, let's say, €2 or €3, they use it 2-3 weeks, then throw it away. And those are billion of people doing this.
Yes.
But if you switch to an alternative like this one, you can use it from 5 to 10 years. And the only thing that you need to change is basically the razor, which is metal and
as the straws, like it's one straw, they said, and the same logic goes for the razor.
yes.
It's just one razor. I'll get one razor for €0.50. I'll use it, whether it's a man or a woman, and I'll end up throwing it. But you're actually, again, throwing off plastic, which comes the alternative, which is metal, which takes us
Yes.
back to our traditional ways, because this style of razor was intentionally made this way to appeal
A little bit retro.
yes, to appeal a little bit retro, to remind people how things were actually before. And it's a very beautiful razor to hold, to touch, and to use the material, as well as the sustainability. You only need to replace the blade.
The razor, you just need to, another razor, yeah, the blade.
The
Sorry,
blade by itself.
you need to replace, and it's metal, so it's recyclable. The good thing that people do not understand about those products, because when they look at them, they say, wait, this is like way more expensive than plastic. I don't need this. But if you make the simple math and explain to them that actually this product, if you calculate it in 5 years, what amount of let's say money you would
if you want.
yeah, I don't know if we can show it to you. No,
It's
this
blurred.
effect is blurry.
Yeah.
But in time, actually, you not only save the environment, you save yourself money. So this, I also believe, is a good
Incentive.
Yeah, for people making a startup, that developing a product that is good for the environment and being good for the pocket, let's say, is something great. Our other products, last but not least, are our metal straws. Again, also, as we mentioned, we worked on the design here because we didn't want to just to give this metal look, empty look of a straw that people just don't feel like comfortable about. We wanted to give something beautiful, colorful, trendy, in colors which remind you of the nature. The blue ones are meant to remind you of the oceans, because we often don't think in the daily life what impact we have on the oceans and the sea life. And the pinkish red one are to remind of the corals. The straws are made by stainless steel, and they come with a pack which is made of Hussein, which is again handcrafted. The bags are handcrafted. And at the moment we're working on a few other products, but I will not mention them right now because we're still like struggling to develop them. We're testing some new ideas. But basically, this is what Go Bamboo is up to here.
So basically, Go Bamboo, if I want to summarize it, Go Bamboo, it's a passion of two young people that really care of the earth that they're living in, and they really care about this home, and they want to save it as well as move this knowledge to other people. Our mission is not just to sell products and make a few euros or a few dollars and we're happy. No, our mission is actually bigger than that. Our mission is to educate and inform businesses as well as individuals about the impact they're having on Earth, and about the impact they're having on Earth, and the impact they're having on the planet by themselves. So that's something that we aim to do every single day. Every single client of our client is a person or an individual that is in close contact with us, understands our products, understands why he's using or she's using this product, and is informed about our mission and our plan to reduce as much waste as we can.
And I want to answer one question regarding, somebody asked, I believe, about working and making a startup. Is this right?
Yes, he asked about, can you make a startup while you're still working?
The truth is that up to recently, we're both working. I was working as marketing specialist in the second biggest dairy company in Bulgaria and one of the biggest in Europe. And to be honest, this was a huge problem for Go Bamboo. because your daily life, if you go to work, because I haven't been home office, I was in the office working, and you come after work and you really want to give yourself to your idea, to your startup, but you're very tired.
Yes.
So you say to yourself, only 30 minutes, only an hour, but this hour is not enough and your brain is tired, you're tired. So I would support this what George said.
This goes what George said
Yeah.
about find something that you're passionate about and let it make you go crazy and follow it and pursue it.
Yes, and yeah, probably the first few months you will be with the lowest salary you've ever been, or basically you'll be a little bit broke maybe.
But
or
eventually
asking your parents for money. But eventually things will change, and I believe that then you will feel the real power of doing something that is yours.
yes. The reward, the
reward.
result that you're actually doing,
Yeah.
that satisfaction of actually
And-
seeing results in people,
Yeah.
seeing change. That's more important than anything. That's the thing that we're seeing every person that leaves us a review on Trustpilot or on our site, how thankful they are about these products, how thankful they are that they talked to us, that they saw us personally, that we sat with them, talked with them.
Yes, because I personally sometimes go and deliver
The
things
products,
myself,
exactly.
and I talk to clients. And
That by itself is an amazing feeling. You see that you're like personally, you're personally implying change on that person, on his friends, on his family, and this is something very, very, very satisfying, more than any financial satisfaction that can
Yes.
ever bring to us.
And another advice, sorry, I would give for somebody that is going to make a startup, if your startup isn't like some app or some online platform, if it's a product, if it's an online type of business, try putting something personal.
Yes.
We noticed that because every time I pack a package, I write a small note with the name of the person who ordered. I thank them and I wish them, every time I write something different, but let's say, don't stop smiling, enjoy your time in the company of your bowl, etc., etc. And people then text back on our Instagram or our Trustpilot platform that they're like, this is super personal, thank you,
Yes.
nobody has ever been this nice to me, the whole team, you're great. And we're like, wow.
This is personalization is something very important when you have a business that deals especially with our, let's call it theme, environment, sustainability, cultural awareness, environmental awareness. Personalization and having intimate, let's say, those intimate touches are very important because you want to make your client feel that he's not your client as much as he is actually your partner in this change that you're trying to invoke. If the person feels like he's your partner, he personally takes it as a responsibility that he's responsible for Mother Earth, and he's helping you in your goal that you want to reach, as more as he's just a client, a paying client, a come and go client. That's what we aim to make each and every person feel he's part of this movement. Like our stickers, our cards, everything. We thank people personally. Thank you for being a part of the change. Thank you for being a part of the change. Every single person receives a personalized message because they are a part of the change.
Well,
yeah, I
if
think
you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask.
Yeah, I just want to add that this waste of plastic, the scientists talk about an area like old France that is island in the Pacific Ocean, I think, or in the Atlantic. That is like an island, no? Plastic
Yes,
floating.
yes, it is as big as an island.
The statistic, but of the scientist of plastic deep in the ocean is 10 times more because the big percent of the plastics is higher, like weight, more of the water.
yes.
Is measure of one, no?
Wow.
So
Yeah.
so we can we can have an idea of the impact of like this example, no, of change. But I think we have we have a very long way to go to change this thing.
We do
So
have
yeah, maybe we can go to Georgi to see maybe for us ask about his presentation, and we go back to you. So we give time to the people to make questions.
Okay.
Okay. Maybe Georgi, I could start with one main question. What was the pain point? What was the pain point journal? I didn't get it very well.
Oh yeah,
Very simple.
Pain Point Journal is a journal that that you make, like you're writing into it every day things which are pain for you. So let's say pain, you know, not like physical pain, but like as I gave example, let's say you didn't like let's say the taxi drivers or you know things like everyday things. Like for me a very very big pain point 10 years ago was cleaning my car's windshield in the winter, right? So things like this. And when you have a journal, after this you go back to your journal and you're looking at it and you're thinking what you can do about those pain points, right? So wherever you figure out something that you can do, you should go ahead and try doing it, you know.
Yeah, I think is a very good point this to do. Thank you. Okay.
I have some question for Nader. Can I do it? So first, how big can be your production? Because I'm really curious about that. And another question is if you had some problem, specific problem related to the pandemic crisis or the COVID developing this technology. It's really awesome because actually it's a really circular economy. It's very practical. It's great. And also another point is that you don't have the microplastic problem. It's a even worse problem, even worse than plastic at the moment. And then if we can buy it from Italy, or because Gaetano wants to develop your export here in Italy. So
thank you. Thank you for your question. This is actually something that we were wanting to talk about for a very long time, actually. Business during COVID. This is one of the major difficulties that we had, because we wanted to make as much care and as much detail into our products. So we found it very hard to travel to Vietnam to see the products on hand.
We couldn't.
We couldn't actually. It's not like we couldn't actually travel, but we never gave up. We continued the
researching. Actually, everything started with researching. As George said, you first, after you have this idea or thought, you start researching, and we started looking around. We first saw what type of products from bamboo there are around the world, but we didn't want to be the China way.
Yes. To buy a product from AliExpress and resell it.
And the production line is somewhere, and people are super poor, not well paid, and you don't know with what chemicals the products are raised before they became straws or whatever. And we started researching where in this planet is somebody that could do it by hand from an organic farming.
Which is what led us to Vietnam.
Yes.
To our partners actually in Vietnam. They're very cool people, young as well. They have a farm.
Not all of them are young.
Yeah, not all of them are. Yeah, I mean,
They're family farms, actually, family farms from a long, long time ago. So some of them are the parents of the others.
Yes, we're talking about the people that are in contact with us directly.
But yes, we found actually help because our inability to travel, we needed to find an in-between connection between us and the farm. So we found partners in the United Kingdom.
Yes.
Who supported us because we also had, they helped us develop the products. They helped us in shipping
certifications as well,
because we didn't have the experience what to do. And then we had problems with the transportation because Vietnam, as you know, it's far. And in COVID, everything changed. The prices for a container,
shipping times,
yes,
everything was increased exponentially, and we ship by sea as well. We don't ship by air.
So if we had to ship by sea ourselves, the prices vary from 15,000 euro per container, which for us as a small startup is impossible. So we found those partners, and they helped us a lot by separating
the expenses of the container. They ship their products, we ship our products.
Yes, and then from the UK, actually, they send our products. So this actually made the cost way better for us.
Yes.
And yeah, this was the main difficulty, not being able to travel and all the prices of shipping going rapidly up.
And we're very thankful for those partners as well as our products that they're helping us eliminate or reduce as well microplastics as well as the plastic itself by making sure every single product that is made like our bags that have no elastic, everything is made from natural fiber, everything is made from a natural source. I don't know, you can see it because it was blurred for some reason.
This actually is made by mix of Hussein and organic cotton.
Yes, and it's stitched by hand. Everything is stitched by hand.
By hand. This is why you can see some things like this. But yeah, this is the truth. When it's not a machine, it's a person. Exactly. You can never make.
Basically, you need to know that no item is like the other because each single item is done by hand. This adds to the feature of personalization and intimacy in the product. When you have a product that came from a person in Vietnam that is sitting and working on your item is different than when your items comes from China from an assembly line done from a machine that works on oil and grease and whatever that is giving out pollutions to the environment. This is totally contradictory to the idea of sustainability and environmental awareness. You cannot get an item that is saying it's bamboo or whatever, but it comes from an industry or an industrial production, which actually negates the whole idea. That's about it. And
as for Italy,
as for Italy, we
can talk about it.
Yeah, we are very open actually to expand to Europe. This was one of our goals as well, to try to expand as much as we can and work alongside people that are like us, basically young, passionate individuals that actually care about what they're doing. And this is mainly the idea of Rotaract and Rotary, young individuals that care about what they're doing, giving each one of them giving a little bit from himself or herself for the greater good. And that's why we can work 100% in parallel with Rotaract, with Rotary, because we share the same vision, we share the same ideas, young individuals giving a little bit from themselves for the greater good.
I have just a question. Well, since in Lebanon, in this moment, you have a very hard situation.
Yes.
How can you deliver the goods? Are you based? The production is based in Lebanon or somewhere else?
It's in Vietnam. All of our products are produced in Vietnam because Vietnam is known for by nature there are have a lot of coconuts and a lot of bamboos.
Yeah, but from Vietnam, directly delivered to the customer or from Vietnam to Lebanon?
No. We first deliver them to ourselves here in Bulgaria. And from here, we ship them to our customers.
The reason we do this is very important because we receive the items from Vietnam in, of course, large containers, and the raw product by itself. Like I think we have one here. Let's say like a coconut bowl. I don't know if you can see it, but let's say this kind of coconut bowl. And we cannot send directly from Vietnam to the client because this is not what we're aiming for. It comes here to Bulgaria. We hand inspect every single one because unfortunately, because it's handmade, some of them have deeper grooves, some of them have thinner grooves, some of them have a hole in the middle, some of them might be cracked, and we cannot do that to the client. Each and every single item comes and is being inspected by us. Each and every item is packed in a box and has a handwritten note. Thank you for making the change, or let's say, dear Ivana, have a wonderful sunny day. Exactly. And it's packed and is sent to the client, or if can be delivered personal to the client, it is delivered. That's our mission exactly. Not to be the direct middleman, but actually to be the people making the impact.
Thank you.
I also have one question about that bowl.
Yeah.
Is it resistant to hot soups?
Well, unfortunately, because it's a natural product and we don't use anything to make it stronger, it's not resistable to hot water or soup.
Or very cold temperatures.
Yeah, to cold, actually, I tested them. They're kind of rough on cold, but hot, they don't just stand a chance.
Yes.
So yeah, I was asking because it happened to me. I just cracked one.
You cracked it?
Yes,
yeah.
Yes.
Sometimes clients don't read because we have this little leaflet in the box when we send it, and whenever clients don't read it and they message us and they're like, I just put a hot soup and it broke. It's not quality, and I'm like, yeah, sorry, did you read? So yeah. So yeah,
and just to know, we replace every single bowl that the customer isn't satisfied about, or something happened to the bowl, we replace it, because the idea is to receive our customer or our partner to receive his item. We don't care if it's going to cost us more to retract this item, as much as we care as this person got his item or her item and use it. We care about them using it. We don't care about them paying the money and then saying, oh, sorry, we cannot return it.
Yes, also I wanted to make not a question, but like a statement, a point that as you can see, I am half Thai. My mother is from Thailand, so I'm quite used to seeing these coconut products, and I've been living my childhood using all these dishes and bowls in Thailand. But what I noticed is that the more years passed, the more in Thailand they were using plastic, and instead in Europe is the other way around. The more organic products we use. So it's kind of crazy that there they are turning to plastic. Of course, it's cheaper and more easy to access it if you live in the city. But yeah, my grandmother was from the countryside, so that's why we got so much coconut.
Well, this is a very weird trend. I actually didn't know this, that there is everything is turning around. Because yes, here in Europe, we're trying to become more eco-friendly because we know what is the threat and what's going to happen in the next several years if we don't really try to do something right now.
Yeah.
But it's good you had such a childhood. Sounds amazing.
Yeah, between rice fields and cows.
Oh my God. I believe this is the dream of a modern person right now.
Yes.
To get out of the fast city, the pollution,
and go into actually
and go in the wild.
I was actually reading about the subject, and it says as Boris actually mentioned, that at the pace we're going into environmental destruction, the people that are still living their roots in the in the farms with their animals, living this kind of life, have the more chance of survival than us, the people living in the city with the pollution every single day. So when things become serious, those people have the more chance of survival.
Yeah, so you're all invited to escape with my grandma.
We would love to.
We would love to. Once COVID is a better situation, just type us the others we're flying.
We're flying there.
But thank you so much for your ideas and bringing these important topics to Europe. Hopefully you will expand. Thank you so much.
Thank you too.
Anybody else that has something he would like to ask us, share with us? We would love to answer or discuss it with you.
Nader?
Yes.
Ivana, in which month you started?
We talked about the idea in August.
August, I think.
Yeah, in the beginning of August, we had this coffee morning, and I mentioned it, and he said, "Let's go."
Mm-hmm.
Okay, your personal review about the people in Sofia. You see a change in this 1 year? Which August?
This that 2020.
2020.
And
Okay.
our first products came. We showed them on the market in October.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. In these months, you saw a change in people in Sofia. How was the change? You think you started to increase? You're in the start of the line. I don't know how.
Well, to be honest, it's hard to make a full.
Well, actually, his point.
Because my point is not the intro like money, no, like the change of mind of the people.
Exactly, that's what I wanted to say.
You have a good review about changing the mind of the people or not in this month?
Honestly, let me tell you, before we started this company, we were researching a bit about Bulgaria, the interests, the people, their habits. And the interesting part is that people actually did use reusable products, whether they were, we're not talking in very big details. You're not going to find a person that is all into the reusable, but you find at least one person like using a bamboo cup, metal cup, at least using a glass bottle. People were trying.
Yes, but the very small amount of people.
Yes.
And mostly the problem here is that when you say zero wasters, because we have a saying here, and people look at you like, oh, this freak, look at, she's bringing, let's say, a composable cup of her coffee or her own cup of coffee. And the past year was like this, but more and more time passes, it actually becomes cooler, let's say, to be this zero waste person.
Yes, and zero waste doesn't have to mean you're a person that doesn't want to wash his clothes because you don't want to put chemicals into the ocean, or no, I'm not gonna wash my dishes because no. It actually exactly just change your materials, change your mindset. It can actually be very beautiful. You will be surprised at how much alternatives there are for dishwashing detergents.
A lot.
For
it's a developing market.
It's a huge market, and it's a very beautiful market. They're even more beautiful than those chemical products that we use. There are soaps, there are detergents, there are capsules, all made from natural sources, all made from oils, and they clean your dishes or your clothes actually in a better way than chemicals do, without any residue, without any harm to the environment.
But you think that you could change the mind of people with cool stuff marketing way, or in the direct, more pragmatic, you're gonna die if you I don't know, you live in Hong Kong, and you eat Big Macs all day, no?
I know what you mean, honestly, from time to time, but I try to be rarely. On our Instagram, we share posts that show the earth covered in plastic, because no matter what we talk, people need to be a bit frightened in order to awaken, because if you repeat to somebody that something's bad is going to happen, and this somebody sees only a beautiful sun, he's like, no, nothing's happening, and he's using his plastic, and no, nothing's wrong. So
Okay.
yes, the products are beautiful and trendy, which helps one part of the society that wants to be cool, to be like their friends, to use those modern things. But the other part of people, they don't care if it's modern or not. You just have to show them that fishes are suffocating in plastic bags, turtles are dying, and from time to time you need to show this ugly
Basically,
point.
you need to show them the reality. Look, it's not a beautiful reality, but people need to know what's going on, because it's okay to be all happy, flowers, amazing, no problem, let's do this, let's do it together. But sometimes it needs to be known what's going on. It's a reality, it's hitting, it's happening every single day, and people need to know about it. It's not beautiful, but it has to be said.
Okay, so it's not 100% marketing and good things to see, to use, but the half part is culture.
Awareness, culture. This is a very important element before
Kind of educating
education.
people.
Yes.
Okay.
Because you don't enter the internet and Google how many straws per day are thrown. So we make our small posts where we say, for today, let's say a few 100,000 straws were thrown away in the sea. So it's kind of an education also.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Andrea, for other questions. We can listen.
Thank you. I think that what you have highlighted tonight is a critical theme, especially tonight, since this is the World Earth Day. And I want to say that our district, I'm quite proud of, is the first district, as far as I know, in Europe that has run an environment commission. In Italy, every district has many commissions. We have 20 commissions: culture, sports, environment, international service, vocational service, and so on. And this year, we chartered this new commission, that is the Environmental Service Commission, because, as you all know, the 1st of July of 2020, the international president Holger Knack declared the environment the 7th area of intervention of Rotary. For this reason, we strongly pointed out the importance of the environment in our services, and I think that this could be a good way to find new Rotaractors in this moment in which to gather in a closed indoor is dangerous. It's quite dangerous. To go outside in the fields to pick up plastics, for example, to make a beach cleaning, it's a good idea to make service and to get the club active, and also to meet new people, because in this year that people couldn't go outside, I think that the importance of environment in the mind of people has increased. And for this reason, the business you have started is precious, because now people is very careful about the environment and the plastic pollution and plastics spreading. So I think that your business could make a big step on.
Thank you for that.
Thank you so much, and thank you to George also for his previous intervention. Well, to close up everything, I want to say a big thank you to Boris, because he made it possible and his effort was huge. And also to Cesare, who has connected everyone, and I thank him deeply. Cesare is a very very kind friend of mine, and I'm very, very proud to be a friend of him. And also I want to thank all my district board, who is secretly taking care of us, because the art directors of this meeting are the Sergeant at Arms, Christina, the district secretary, Rebecca, and the president of the communication commission, the PR, who is Gloria, and thank also to them. Well, before to close and leave the room open, if you wanted to chat, to ask something else, I kindly ask to the Sergeant at Arms to play the bell to close the evening.
Yes, I have to share the screen, because if I don't share the screen, the bell doesn't sound. Let me one moment. Okay.
Well, thank you so much. Now the room is open, so if you want to stay, it's fine.